Every introduction is a transaction. Every smile is a probe. Every nice to meet you is a test you have already failed because you thought it was a greeting. The naive believe warmth is spontaneous. They believe a stranger's kindness at a networking event, a party, a boardroom, exists because people are simply good. They extend trust the way a child extends a hand into a fire, because it looks warm, not because they checked the temperature. The calculated know better. They know that the first 30 seconds of any friendly introduction are not social. They are reconnaissance. Every question about your job, your family, your plans, these are not curiosity. These are audits. Niccolò Machiavelli understood this 500 years ago, sitting in exile, stripped of his post, watching the Medici and their rivals circle each other in Florence, with silk gloves and knives underneath. He wrote what no one wanted to admit. Men do not approach each other out of love. They approach each other out of appetite. And the friendlier the approach, the hungrier the appetite. This is his rule. Decode the motive before you accept the warmth. Because behind every friendly introduction is a calculation. And the moment you mistake that calculation for affection, you have already handed over leverage you will not get back. Florence, early 16th century. The court was a theater of introductions. A merchant did not simply meet a nobleman. He was assessed, his wealth, his usefulness, his weaknesses, all inside a handshake dressed as hospitality. The Medici perfected this. Cosimo de Medici built an empire not through armies, but through relationships, engineered to look accidental. He funded artists, married strategically, greeted rivals with open arms, and every open arm concealed an open ledger. He was calculating what that person could do for the family, and what the family could later extract. Cesare Borgia operated with the same instrument, only sharper. When he entered Romagna, he did not announce conquest. He announced friendship. He offered protection to warlords who feared their own people, embraced local leaders as allies, and let his lieutenant Ramiro de Orco carry out the cruelty required to pacify the region. Then, once the province was calm and the resentment had a face, Borgia had Ramiro executed in the public square and left his body cut in 2 pieces for the crowd to see. The friendliness Borgia extended earlier had never been friendship. It had been a holding pattern until the transaction matured. Machiavelli witnessed this personally, as a Florentine envoy sent to observe Borgia's court, and it became the spine of everything he later wrote about, appearing generous while remaining underneath, entirely without sentiment. Francesco Guicciardini, Machiavelli's contemporary and fellow Florentine statesman, recorded the same pattern from the inside of diplomacy itself. Guicciardini served multiple popes and princes as an ambassador, and he wrote privately that the entire apparatus of court hospitality, the banquets, the gifts, the flattering welcomes extended to visiting dignitaries, existed to disarm, not to honor. A guest fed well and praised loudly was a guest who negotiated worse terms the following morning. The warmth was the opening tactic of the negotiation, not a suspension of it. Guicciardini called this the ricordi, the private record of how power actually behaves, stripped of the public performance. He and Machiavelli disagreed on many things, but on this they were identical. The friendlier the reception, the more there was at stake for the host. This did not end with Florence. Walk into any modern boardroom, any conference hall, any polished networking event, and the mechanism is identical. The warm handshake, the remembered name, the we should grab coffee sometime. These are not friendship rituals. They are opening moves. The modern elite have simply refined the choreography. They smile longer. They ask better questions. They make you feel chosen. And the moment you feel chosen, you stop asking why. Consider the venture capitalist who greets a young founder with effusive praise before the founder has even finished the pitch. The complement is not an evaluation of the idea. It has not been evaluated yet. It is a pressure technique designed to make the founder emotionally invested in the relationship before the terms are on the table. By the time the term sheet appears, the founder is no longer negotiating from clarity. He is negotiating from gratitude. That is the entire function of the warmth, to move the negotiation before the negotiation officially starts. The first law is concealment. No one who wants something from you announces it in the first sentence. The predator does not open with the request. He opens with the compliment, the shared interest, the flattering question about your own success. This is not politeness. It is camouflage. The average person hears, "I love what you're building," and feels validated. The strategic mind hears the same sentence and asks, "What does this person need from what I'm building?" Concealment works because it exploits your desire to be liked. The moment you crave approval, you stop auditing the person offering it. And that is the exact moment you become readable, while they remain hidden. Concealment has a second layer few notice. It is not only what the approaching party hides, it is what they choose to reveal first. A stranger who volunteers a vulnerability early, a shared struggle, a modest confession, is not necessarily being intimate. He may be manufacturing intimacy on a compressed timeline, because trust normally takes months to build honestly, and he does not have months. Machiavelli understood that men are won more quickly through the appearance of shared humanity than through logic. So the calculated manufacture that appearance deliberately, and the naive mistake speed for sincerity. But concealment alone accomplishes nothing without motion. Which brings us to the second law, the transactional pivot. Watch the conversation closely, and you will see it. The moment the friendly introduction turns, it is subtle, a favor mentioned in passing, a mutual acquaintance invoked, a door casually opened to something they want you to walk through. This is the pivot from warmth to withdrawal. The naive don't notice it because it is disguised as continuity. It feels like the conversation is simply flowing. It is not flowing. It is steering. Machiavelli wrote that men are so simple and so obedient to their present needs that a deceiver will always find someone willing to be deceived. The pivot works because the target is still basking in the compliment from 30 seconds earlier, and basking men do not see the hand entering their pocket. Notice how it never feels like a request. It feels like an opportunity you happen to stumble into. That is the design. The best operators make extraction feel like generosity, so that you thank them for taking something from you. The pivot also has a timing signature. It rarely comes in the first exchange. That would expose the mechanism too early. It comes after the second or third pleasant interaction, once a pattern of goodwill has been established, because a request that follows established rapport meets almost no resistance. This is why the introduction itself is rarely the danger. The danger is the third conversation, when your guard has already been trained to relax by the first two. The third law is the cold execution. This is the part the naive never see coming, because they assume the relationship, once established, is safe. It is not. The calculated do not maintain relationships out of loyalty. They maintain them for as long as the relationship produces value, and not one conversation longer. When the utility ends, so does the warmth. Instantly, without explanation, without guilt. The Medici discarded allies the moment those allies stopped serving the family's position. Machiavelli did not moralize this. He recorded it as fact. Injuries and benefits alike should be calculated, not felt. The cold execution is not cruelty for its own sake. It is the refusal to let sentiment override strategy. And it is precisely because the average person cannot separate sentiment from strategy that they are the ones repeatedly discarded, while the strategic are the ones doing the discarding. The cold execution is also silent by design. There is rarely a confrontation, rarely an admission that the relationship has run its course. The calls simply slow, the warmth simply cools, the invitations simply stop arriving. This absence of explanation is itself strategic. An ending with a stated cause can be argued with, resented, or repaired. An ending with no stated cause leaves the discarded party confused rather than resentful, and a confused party is far less likely to retaliate than an angry one. Here is what happens if you ignore this. You will keep mistaking access for affection. You will keep handing your time, your information, your trust to anyone who smiles first. You will wonder, years later, why the people who seemed to like you the most vanished the instant you stopped being useful. You will call it betrayal. It was never betrayal. It was arithmetic. You simply refused to read the equation while it was being written in front of you. Machiavelli never asked you to become cruel. He asked you to stop being blind. Men judge generally more by the eye than by the hand, for everyone can see, but few can feel. Everyone can see a smile. Few bother to feel what is underneath it. The next time someone greets you warmly, do not ask whether they are kind. Ask what they are calculating. That is the only question that